Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trevor Matteson Movie Show. Hope you all are doing well. We're back with the second episode on this channel, something like the 58th overall, if you followed the podcast feed. But we're just going to call it episode 2 for now. Haven't uploaded a lot this week. Haven't. Got plenty to upload, though. I have a Space Jam: A New Legacy review, a review of the Fear Street trilogy. Gonna have a Snake Eyes review. Got lots of stuff that I'm pretty excited about. Should be fun. But for now, we got some movie news. I think as a YouTuber, I don't even like that term. I think I'm supposed to tell you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I don't like promoting things. But I think as someone who publishes videos on YouTube, I'm legally obligated to say that. So, you don't have to, though. I don't really care. But I have to say that. So, now that that's done, let's jump into the movie news. Colin Farrell says that he only has 5 or 6 scenes in The Batman. Which is interesting, because if you don't know, Colin Farrell is playing Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, famed Batman villain, in The Batman next year. And he only has 5 or 6 scenes. Watch this be like The Apartment, where it's like a series of, or like 1917, it's just like all one take. But it is The Apartment, right? I don't know. I'll figure it out later. I like Birdman, another one. But this is interesting because I'd assume they're going to try and make more Batman movies with this cast. They've invested a lot into this, with Matt Reeves directing, and the fact that he only has 5 or 6 scenes, this makes me wonder if maybe the Penguin is just like introduced at the end. I'm really not sure. This is very strange, just because we were assuming that he was going to be one of the main villains, and this is supposed to follow the Long Halloween storyline. So assuming that he's one of the main villains, this definitely, I would say, throws a wrench in what a lot of people were thinking this movie was going to be. But I don't mind that it's not following the norm. I like subversion of expectations, so I don't mind this. Just definitely interesting, especially to get an actor of the caliber of Colin Farrell and only do 5 or 6 scenes. Space Jam: A New Legacy came out. Like I said, I have my review coming, but it beat out Black Widow at the box office, which is massive, and this is probably due to the fact that Black Widow was a day-and-date streaming movie with Disney Plus. Even though it was $30, either people just don't want to be in theaters due to COVID, especially with the Delta variant, which is perfectly reasonable, or people just like watching movies at home. Now, I much prefer to see movies in the theater. I just actually got back from seeing Snake Eyes. Probably going to try and see Old tomorrow. I love seeing films in the theater. But some people prefer their home, and that's perfectly okay. But you see jumps like this where movies have been having a massive second week drop-off. Like, really, really big. And we see it again with Black Widow after a massive opening weekend, a big drop-off. So I'll be curious once all the numbers come in for this weekend how Space Jam looks going up against Old and Snake Eyes. So really, really interesting stuff at the box office. Have more updates next week. Speaking of Space Jam, the director of Space Jam, Joe Pytka, hates Space Jam: A New Legacy, and I'm right there with him. Not much to report on there, but yeah. Clerks 3 is officially happening, so that's fun. I've only seen the first Clerks film. I have not seen the second one. But it's just a fun concept. The characters are a lot of fun. Kevin Smith can be a hit or miss director, but when he hits, he really hits. So, I mean, just more of the same. I feel like this is a concept where you could take it for quite a few movies, especially with the creative mind of Kevin Smith, and keep it from getting stale. So, overall, excited about this news. Leslie Grace of In the Heights has been cast as Batgirl. So I love Leslie Grace in the Heights. She is amazing, especially for a feature film debut. Just acting debut in general. She'd never done TV, anything. For an acting debut, she was absolutely incredible. What do I think of her as Batgirl? It has my interest peaked. So there is the Batwoman, I think it's called Batwoman, show on the CW, with, you had Ruby Rose at one point. That's been a carousel of actresses. I've watched a few episodes of that show. I haven't watched, I watched a couple of the first season, and I watched like the first 3 episodes of the second season. So I haven't watched a lot of it. However, the character of Batwoman is very interesting because you're presented with the challenge of making the character fit into the world of Gotham while still making her feel like her own, and separate from Batman. Do I think that Leslie Grace can do this? I don't know. Like I said, she was very, very good in The Heights, but this will be only her second movie ever. The directors behind it are the directors of Bad Boys for Life. No shade against them, but I don't know if they have... I mean, they were working with 2 very experienced actors there, in Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. So I don't know what their directing skills look like as far as really directing actors. So if they can help Leslie Grace through this role, and who knows, Leslie Grace might just be a fantastic actress, but I mean, this is just going to be something out of her music background, unless they make a Batgirl musical, which I'm also kind of here for. But this is, her background is in music, so this will be out of that background, and something very new for her. So I'm excited to see what she can do with the role, because like I said, I really did love her in The Heights. But I'm apprehensive. Bassam Tariq is going to direct Mahershala Ali in Blade. I've seen one of Bassam Tariq's films. He's only done 2. I watched Mogul Mowgli, which is a Riz Ahmed film. It's very, very good. Bassam Tariq has such a unique vision, and I really like it. I really, really like it. What he did visually with that movie gets me really excited for him doing Blade. Being able to update the Blade franchise, I think he works really, really well for this. Go check out Mogul Mowgli. But very excited about this. On a side note, we also got news that a Blade Underworld crossover almost happened. So I've seen all the Blade films. I've only seen the first Underworld movie. Kind of glad this didn't happen. This would have been weird. Not entirely sure if I would have been on board with that. So, oof. We got the trailer for The Last Duel. This is the new Ridley Scott film with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver. Really excited for this. Really like historical films in general. With Ridley Scott at the helm and that cast. I mean, this looks visually gorgeous. The production design, costumes, everything like that looks fantastic. All the performances look great. The concept is great. Also, Jodie Comer in this. Jodie Comer, sorry. Yes, please. Sorry, I took a pause. I was trying to figure out what was the correct way to say her name. Is it Jodie Comer or Jodie Comer? I don't know. You can correct me in the comments. That was a terribly long pause. Shouldn't have done that. um, but overall, incredibly excited for this movie. This trailer was great. The score sounds gorgeous. Everything about this movie, very, very excited. Ridley Scott with 2 major Oscar contenders this year between both this and then House of Gucci, which I can't wait for the first trailer for that. Lots of great stuff from Ridley Scott that I'm looking forward to. We also got the trailer for Malignant. So this is the new James Wan horror film. Okay. This just feels like a Conjuring pitch that was turned away. And I know Conjuring is based on real events, but I'm just saying this feels like a rejected Conjuring movie that he just decided to go and make, but it's still Warner Brothers. I know my logic doesn't make sense at all, and this isn't a rejected Conjuring movie, but just the premise of it feels very, very Conjuring-esque. And at this point, I'm just... I watched all 3 Conjuring films recently for the first time. And I'm just those 3 films made me tired of that premise. It feels so overdone. Just that brand of horror feels so overstocked. And I did much prefer the first 2 Conjuring films to the third one. James Wan did not do the third one. Maybe you'll like this, because I do enjoy that first Conjuring film. I think that the second one's alright, and I think the third one is bad. So, I have low expectations for this movie. I'm not expecting anything good. That's just my opinion on this style of horror, and that's my bias on this style of horror coming in here. James Wan, though, can be a pretty good director when doing horror, which is his bread and butter. I mean, he of course has branched out and done films like Aquaman, but horror has always been what he's done best, I would say. So I am not... I don't have high expectations for this, but I'll be happy for it to pleasantly surprise me. Someone who's not happy is Dwayne Johnson. I don't know if he's happy or not. Dwayne, hope you're doing well. Does say that that he's not doing any more Fast and Furious movies. He doesn't say that explicitly, but he says good luck to them and all the movies they'll be doing without me. Now that kind of paints it out to seem like he was fired from the films. I'm not to say what exactly happened, but definitely some interesting comments to unpack there. I like him in the Fast and Furious films. I just have a strange love of Fast and Furious in general for no reason. They're objectively terrible, but I like them. But Dwayne Johnson was not in the most recent one, and it doesn't appear that he's going to be in 10 or 11. There was that Hobbs and Shaw sequel that was supposed to happen, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen now with these comments, so I'm not entirely sure. But I'll be happy to see... I'd be happy to see him back, though I wouldn't be devastated if he was gone. We also got the trailer for Dune. Wow. I mean, just this cast. What a beautiful cast. I mean, Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac, Rebecca Ferguson. I mean, Dave Bautista. What a beautiful cast. Both... I mean, they're all, like, incredibly talented. Denis Villeneuve at the helm. Like, just everything about this movie. I'm not even going to try and describe the trailer. Go watch the trailer. I cannot wait for this film. Cannot wait. I am not a fan of the David Lynch Dune from 1984, but this seems like it's taking a much slower approach. I mean, the visual effects needed to tell the story have definitely they've caught up now to what it needs. I don't think that they were quite there in 1984. Everything about this movie looks incredible. So go watch the trailer for yourself. I'm not even going to try and describe it. It's, yeah, very, very excited for this film. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, has cast I May Destroy You star Michaela Cole. Yes. Sorry, my document wasn't moving. I haven't seen I May Destroy You. I've heard it's really good. I want to watch I May Destroy You. I've heard that Michaela Cole is very, very good in it. I'm excited about this casting news. I can't speak too much on it just because I'm unfamiliar with, I would say, probably her defining role with I May Destroy You. But just excited to be getting more news on this film. I'm very, very excited for it. Because I really do trust Marvel to both honor Chadwick and continue on the story. I think that's exactly what they're going to do. So just excited for it in general. Also just more Ryan Coogler movies. More Ryan Coogler. So here's some interesting stuff. Warner Brothers initially wanted the Dark Knight trilogy to launch the DCEU. I think this kind of would have worked. So Zack Snyder mentioned that this could have happened. He said that Joseph Gordon-Levitt at one point was going to show up in the DCEU. Would have been kind of cool. I think that this works because the Ben Affleck Batman that we see is definitely like really like grizzled and, you know, worn down, and it's been 20 years. So I feel like this would have worked actually. I would have been here for it. We got the first images of Army of Thieves. Speaking of Zack Snyder, this is I don't know. I thought Army of Dead was fine, just perfectly fine. We don't need another one. That was enough. The Army of the Dead was enough. We don't need to explore this more. At this point, this, like, Army of the Dead definitely felt like Zack Snyder was indulging himself, and this just feels like he's really going heavy. And Zack Snyder can be good, but when he goes too far into just, hey, look at all these cool things I can do, it doesn't work for me at all. The first time that worked for me was with the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Every other time he's been very self-indulgent. It hasn't worked for me. So I don't need this. I'll still watch it. But I wasn't even interested. I can't even pronounce the guy's name. The safe breaker guy who's going to be the lead in this. I wasn't even that interested in the character, so I'm very disinterested in this film. But I'll wait for a trailer at least. Something that's been getting very positive reactions though is Free Guy. So this is a movie I've been kind of tentative on, but people are loving this, calling it potentially the best video game based film ever. Lots of high praise for this film, which makes me happy. I love that people are loving this. I will be going and seeing it in theaters August 13th, I think it is. Yeah, just happy to see this movie getting love. Love Ryan Reynolds. I love Taika Waititi. Just excited for this in general. But that is the show for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you've listened to all of this, really do appreciate it. Like I said, more reviews coming. You can also find me on The Basement with my incredible co-host Mara Kanofik every Saturday night at 7 Central. That is the show, though. So I will see you guys shortly for some reviews, and next weekend, I should say, for more movie news on the Trevor Matteson Movie Show. Until I see you again, stay safe, everybody, and goodbye.